Well, when I came to PS 96, the school really wasn't where it needed to be academically. We had 32 schools in the district and we were at the bottom.
I was frightened when I first came here as the principal. I saw sixth grade work that was not at sixth grade level.
My children were coming to sixth grade not being able to read past the first sentence. I just felt a need to inquire why that was the case.
So Edie Hirsch says that we will not solve the problem of the reading gap until we fill the knowledge gap. But in the last 15 years or so, science and social studies have been squeezed out of the curriculum.
When I did come to school, we had balanced literacy, but there wasn't enough substance to the program.
We wanted a private education in a public school setting. So when Core Knowledge came out with a literacy pilot they wanted to do in New York City, I immediately emailed off and said I want to be part of the pilot.
The Core Knowledge Language Arts program is an early literacy program based on existing literature in the world of early literacy and the world of cognitive science. It was developed on the same research base as the Common Core standards, so it's very well aligned to what's required for all students. The program has two strands. The skills strand allows us to focus on teaching children how to decode words on the page, and in the listening and learning strand, the children are purely listening. We take away the cognitive demands of decoding the word on the page, and we introduce students to really rich topics through shared read-alouds. This idea that a broad base of background knowledge is required to really be a good reader is the foundation on which this program is built.
Because the Core Knowledge Language Arts was so dense and there's such richness to it, it gives our students access to mainstream culture, to social studies and science and mathematics, etc.
And that's how they're able to compete and play on the same level field as anyone, anywhere in the world.
Before we had Core Knowledge, I had to go everywhere to find information. I had to get books on grammar, I had to get the books that we were going to read for the day. I had to make lesson plans for each thing. But what's great about Core is everything is there.
By having this structured program that all the teachers on grade level are using, teachers know what students have learned content-wise from previous years and what skills they're going to bring with them.
Like in second grade, I know I have to teach ancient Greek myths because in third grade, they're going to do ancient Roman myths. So it all builds.
By the time they got into third grade, they have covered land bridges, ancient civilization, body systems, the War of 1812. They've covered a plethora of various topics.
And they do see it again.
The Core Knowledge curriculum repeats itself. So like second grade and fourth grade similar, so second grade literature topic like ancient Greece. When they get to fourth grade, they repeat it, but a little more in depth.
They're pulling knowledge from what they learned earlier in the school year and even in prior years because of the way that the program spirals.
When you can start a lesson and the children already know what you're talking about, they're so much more interested because they already have an investment in it and they want to show you what they know.
Okay, Olivia, go ahead. M-A-N-Y.
Okay.
But he's not
That was pretty good, Olivia.
Even though Core Knowledge Language Arts is a full package program, you are still able to do what you need to do with it to meet the needs of your students.
We're making it our own using the lessons, but incorporating like more poems or more activities and also differentiating the lessons for our own students' needs.
Honestly, I get to focus on my children now. I get to focus on how to teach them, not what to teach them.
We don't dummy down for our special needs or our English language learners. They're receiving the same exact content as their peers.
I've had the low class to the top class, and I find that you might not get through everything with the low class, but they want to learn everything just like the top class.
It is whole class instruction, and then we differentiate at this point, this point, this point, and this point.
We put them into different groups to do different activities on different levels, so each group can understand it the way they know best.
A lot of thought has been put into how children actually cognitively learn.
Up through about middle school, children's listening comprehension outpaces their reading comprehension. So we really are in the early grades focusing on teaching them to be fluent and accurate decoders.
When she came into my classroom, Olivia was barely decoding. She was having trouble in blending words and putting them together. But as we incorporated the skills program, I saw Olivia's progress week by week.
When I was 4, I didn't even know rats, so I just did this, rat.
There are 3 sounds in those letters. They can break up those sounds so that they would hear the beginning, the middle, and the end. So that now when they then transition to reading, they can actually take their finger and push those sounds to be able to decode those words.
Children want a story. They love a story, which is what makes the listening and learning strand so engaging, because they'll sit and they'll listen to these stories that are about really rich things that teach them about the world.
So the people of the village of Stonewalls, they used llamas to carry loads for them. Llamas were very gentle, but they were strong enough to carry a lot of things on their backs.
In 3rd grade, what the students are hearing in the listening and learning strand, they are also reading about on their own in the skills strand. All of the stories, beginning with the very first reader in kindergarten, are essentially chapter books. What they have that other early readers don't have is engaging characters and storylines and references to real things.
We learn a lot of rivers, like the Tigris and the Euphrates and the Nile River. But my favorite thing that I learned this year is finding pyramids and mummies.
You can see it right here.
All of this rich content comes together when it's time for students to read books in the classroom or books for pleasure, or to read passages on the test.
The chances of something that they've acquired through the core knowledge program being on the test were great.
They're like, I know that, Miss Wigan, you taught us that.
The children, having worked with content so rigorously, they're able to do better than they have in the past. In 2007, we had 32% of students on levels 3 and 4. Last year, with the test becoming harder and harder, through the years we were up to 48% on level 3 and 4. So you can actually see in a course of 6 years how much core knowledge language arts program has changed us for the better.
We feel that we're a school on the move in the right direction.
I can honestly say that when I look at my grade 2 right now, it looks like what the 6th grade used to look like.
When you're in what used to be one of the lowest performing schools in New York City, and you see children talking about wanting to be an archaeologist or wanting to be a paleontologist, you know that there's hope for other schools that may have been that low performing school.
Core knowledge has helped Olivia see that she could become whatever she wants to be, and this will help her along to get her college and career ready.
They have the knowledge they need to be able to be successful.
The history and the science and the content that allows them to interact beyond their local classroom, their local school, their local community, to the world at large.
It just makes me appreciate that I've given them the opportunity to conquer the world.